But like in theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Magic Carpet Ride. Indeed, that was Richard Hart, of course, the founder of Pulsechain, Pulsex, and Hex, and of course Incentive Token as well, and all pretty much copied everything over from Ethereum back on the 10th of May last year. And of course, you may have a big airdrop over there if you're new. Anyway, we're going to get into it. Let's talk crypto, Pulsechain, TitanX, X1. We are going to have an incredibly bullish 2025. It almost seems inevitable. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We are counting it down to Trump's inauguration. It is currently, I guess, the 14th of January. The 20th is when it's going to happen. And of course, 15th, we're on the 15th already. So we're always a day ahead. But man, it's going to be exciting, that Trump inauguration. There's going to be a lot of big things coming from Trump, particularly around crypto. We're expecting major changes across the board. So it's going to be very, very exciting. Potentially a strategic reserve, new SEC leadership, new approach to crypto, positive for innovation, probably changes to the banking and treating crypto like a liability on the banking balance sheet. There's lots of ramifications going to be coming through in terms of all the regulations supporting crypto and innovation. So, man, I think we're going to have absolutely amazing crypto altcoin season. And of course, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're on the doorsteps, as we say. Let's get into it. We've got bullish markets, I think, mostly across the board. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see that. Anyway, get into the chat, make it lively. Just noticed that the feeds only just started coming through. So let's go to Hexcavator. Hey gang, good to see Hexcavator. Hope you're doing well. Now, Hexcavator is going to love the Trump era, because the Trump era is going to be huge for building infrastructure in the United States, and they need it desperately. So going to be very, very cool. You're going to enjoy that. Trump pump incoming, says Hexcavator. Yeah, all around. That's you're going to benefit many ways, crypto and infrastructure. We got Wookie in the house there, and we're back. Hey, good to see you, Wookie. Hope you're doing well. And I saw you in the chat there yesterday, at least in the Discord. Great coverage here, Property View. I appreciate that, Property View. Big shout out to you. Great channel. If you like multi-million-dollar properties, Property View covers those on his channel. Very good channel. And of course, he's been a long-term supporter of the channel here. We've got Daniel M in the house there. Pulse will be huge soon. Hey, Daniel, you and I both know it's going to really break away. Now, obviously, we've got the court case, SEC versus Richard Hart. So we will briefly talk about that later on. So stay tuned for that. We're expecting that this month, right? Judgment this month in January. Certainly taking time. We sort of knew it would be about 3 months. But of course, it seems like maximum time at this stage. Excavator in house there. Woo! Yeah, get excited. I spotted an altcoin named Trump pumping this morning, says Property View. How about that? Yeah, there's quite a few Trumps on different chains, so I'm not surprised there. All right, so let's get into it. Let's start off with the stock market. The stock market results will be for Tuesday. Monday was very green on the stock market, so let's see how Tuesday went. So let's pick that up, and here we go. Stock market there. S&P 500 ends higher in choppy trade as fresh inflation is eyed. I don't know who writes these titles, but hey, this is what they are. Now, the Dow Jones is up 0.5%, 221 points to 42,518. And remember, that's got the top 30 industrials in it. The S&P 500 is up 0.1%, just under 7 points to 5,842. And the NASDAQ, with all the tech companies, is up, or down actually, 0.1%, 44 points to 19,044. So that's where we are at the moment. So still doing pretty well. We got some news about the producer prices. So think of US producer prices as like wholesale prices as opposed to retail prices. So US producer prices rose at a slower than anticipated rate in December. That's good news to some degree, with the producer price index increasing by 0.2% on a month-to-month basis in December. Economists had anticipated the reading would match November's pace of 0.4%. So that's good news in terms of not so inflationary. Compared to the year earlier, the PPI picked up by 3.3%, accelerating from 3% in the prior month, but cooler than estimates of a 3.5%. That's normally, if you're beating expectations, that's a good thing. Well, this morning's report does little to arrest the likelihood and need for a policy pivot near term. It does seemingly afford the committee more flexibility for policy as the data continue to evolve in the new year and under a new regime in Washington, aka Trump administration. Cooler inflation data helped pause the climb in treasury yields, with the 10-year treasury yield falling 2 basis points to 4.785% as investors looked ahead to fresh inflation data. This data comes ahead of Wednesday's consumer price index. As you guys know, it's one of the two main retail indicators, and of course, it's not the preferred one, but it is one that's generally used in business reporting, and will offer more cues on interest rates after strong payrolls data from last week cemented bets on a slower pace of Fed rate cuts this year. Now, we've got the other thing is we know that we were expecting 2 rate cuts this year based on the end of last year, but now the market's only expecting 1 rate cut this year for the whole of 25. But we'll see how that goes. Will depend on the inflation data and stuff coming up. The other thing is that from this week onwards, we've got a reporting season, right? Q4 for 2024. So we're getting all that stuff for the crypto stock market. So that's going to be really, potentially bullish if it all comes in pretty nice. At least 2/3, get 2/3 result coming pretty good. So let's go to the Fed rate monitor and see what we've got there on the expectations. So we've got the next Fed rate meeting is on the 29th. So it's 2 weeks and 19 hours away, and we're expecting no change there. 98% pretty much of the market expecting no change. So we'll keep the federal funds rate, which is the government's interest rate there, at 4.5%. March is not looking much better. 3/4 of the market expecting no change in March. So far, don't expect interest rates to come to help spur economic growth in the markets a little bit for a while at this stage. So that's pretty much that. Now, I just want to briefly talk about commodities. Obviously, Trump's going to have a huge impact on commodities this year. We've got West Texas at $76, Brent oil at $80, and we've got gold at the moment, $2,693, and silver at $30.55. So keep a lookout for commodities this year. Not only is crypto going to do pretty well, but I suspect we could see crude oil go down, all things equal. No new wars, anything, and silver and gold probably do pretty well also this year, but not on the back of interest rates, just on back of confidence, I would say. So that is pretty much it for the stock market. That leads us into crypto. Crypto is looking hot and hot. Look at that. So I think we've been in a little bit of a bear trap before we get to the main move on crypto. We've seen that before at this time of the cycle, part of the cycle of the market. But we've got Bitcoin there, has managed to defend 92,000 several times now, and now is up. It's $96,708, up 2.5%, with less than a week to go for the Trump inauguration. We've got Ethereum there at $3,237, up 3.4%. We've got BNB up 2% at $699, almost back at $700. XRP leading the way. Now, I really don't like XRP. With the Ripple association, they can just keep dumping down on the heads. But XRP there at $2.67, 5.7%, kind of leading the way. I think potentially leading us into the altcoin season, along with Dodge. Dodge is up 6% at 35 cents. And so we may very well see those lead us into altcoin season, maybe rather than Ethereum. That'd be interesting. Now, that's benefiting on all those things I said about Trump, all the regulatory changes we've got coming up. It's all going to benefit crypto big time, right? Big time. Like I say, with the banks removing crypto as a liability, opening up innovation for crypto, getting rid of all the SEC lawfare, and so moving towards, instead of negative, moving to positive policies for crypto. Probably dropping a lot of the court cases, including the insurance policy for the rich and hard, depending on what happens in the courts, of course. That court stuff still going. So we'll see with the SEC, where they all heads, but looking generally positive. So yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment in the market. Solana up 3%, $188. ADA there. Obviously, you guys might have seen the battle with Hodgkinson online, up 5% there, just under $1 at the moment is a good old ADA. And that is there. The beef is real. We've got Utah Crypto and house there, Suitman, LFG. Hey, good to see you, Utah Crypto. Always crushing it out there in the old TitanX ecosystem. Big shout out there. What else we got? Brennan and house there. Howdy, Suitman and fam. Hey, good to see Brennan is also. Brennan is our TA guru. Big shout out to you. Don't forget to accept your invite to the Mafia there, Brennan. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's have a look at Bitcoin. You can see this yellow line here is the 50-day moving average. And we have bounced off that. Isn't that nice? So it is very bullish. This U part here, do I have a little drawing? No, let's see, have a look. It's always weird trying to draw on live stream. Can I get this curve? Will this curve work? Let's see if the curve works. Yeah, the curve's not too bad. So we got this little. Is this a little bear trap, right? Little bear trap, and then are we off to the moon after that? Are we off to the moon? You decide. But I think it's pretty bullish. I think that's probably what's happening here. We've managed to defend, 92,000 down here several times, and we're back over the 50-day moving average. So for me, very bullish. And of course, we've got the 200-day moving average moving up as well. That's currently at 78,785. So that's very supportive, and we've got nice solid support at the 50 at 94,460. We've defended 92 several times. And we're up here 96,600, and we've got the Trump inauguration coming in. Look at that line there. That is very close indeed. So things are looking pretty good. We've obviously got ADA and the XRP moving up. Maybe they'll lead us into the altcoin season as opposed to Ethereum. But Ethereum, they're doing not too well. We're looking at that in a minute. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Now, as you guys know, I've got my 830 to 870 day cycles. So far, we have ticked off the 90 to 100K. We hit that real nice. And next target is a 150, 180. Probably the low side is always good to be conservative. So let's say 150 and hitting that by March, early April. And then it's going to be interesting after that. I'm particularly bullish for 2025. So I definitely think we've got some sort of double top or just increased trend to the upside. And I'm actually kind of getting a little bit more bullish about 2026 as well, which is interesting. We might talk about that in another video, but definitely 2025 looking very, very good under the Trump administration, right? Back to common sense, back to good economics, and tidying up a lot of the mess that the Democrats and progressives have left to the world. Some of it is going to be unrepairable, but some of it can definitely be managed and dealt with and cleaned up. So that's going to be good. Obviously, as a first principle, freedom is going to be number one in the West. Reinstalling freedom, pulling down the deep state and all the globalist entities. We've already seen that with the EU. If you haven't been watching that, the EU is trying to overturn elections by saying that you get political interference when they're the ones actually doing the political interference. So let's see how that goes. The Trump era is going to be very, very important for pulling down all these globalist entities. They don't care about you. They're just trying to take the power away. We've seen that multiple times. So that is kind of where we are at the moment with the markets. So I think we're looking pretty good. Let's get into the Bitcoin returns. So far for the month of January, we're at 2.93% positive, and we're just hitting halfway through the month. And so, and we've got Trump in another week. So we might actually finish January pretty spectacularly strong. 2023, we finished with almost 40%. 2020, we almost had 30% as well. So I think we can feel pretty optimistic. Last year was a pretty modest 0.6%. But of course, last year didn't have the Bitcoin ETFs, the Ethereum ETFs. And of course, we talked about XRP. Well, they've got the Bitwise, right, ETF for XRP coming. That probably get approved in the early year, especially now that you got a Trump administration. So things are looking hyper bullish for crypto. It's looking very good indeed. Really no negatives. Like I say, the only thing really to pull us down would be some unseen financial collapse, and that would be maybe the Democrats left some little stinger to try and take Trump down, just like we know what happened last time he was in power. They used they're quite happy to kill off a few million people to get power and to get rid of somebody. So I'll leave it at that. And so here we are at almost 3% up at the moment. So let's see where we end the month. I'm feeling pretty bullish. And of course, last year we had 43% gain in February. We know that February is a very green across the board, only 2 negative months. And we have got the perfect lineup, right? All the ETFs, all the corporates. We've got sovereign states now coming in, corporates, everything. Everybody's on the table. Everybody now. It's kind of the holy grail. That's where crypto wanted to go. We're at the beginning of that inflow. The beginning of that. It's just going to be so glorious. It really will be fun. So February, very optimistic about that, as I am on March. And of course, that 150 target on the back of Bitcoin looking very realistic indeed. So, all right, that's pretty much it. Let's have a look at Bitcoin halving. You guys know, so this is the 2012 one, and we had the big parabolics. That's what we're looking forward to, right? The altcoin season on the back of these big parabolics in Bitcoin. And then, of course, in 2016, we had that again. And then in 2020, we had it again. So we're looking for that. And of course, we now got the Bitcoin halving 2024, and we're waiting for it. Where's the banana part of the move? And I think we're on the doorsteps of it right now. February is going to be epic, and we may even get it in the second half of January, kicking off there. That looks very optimistic. So let's have a look. The next week ahead could be very interesting indeed. More likely to start that little run that we're after on the parabolic. So very, very excited about that. So you're here at the right time. If you just came into crypto, man, you're lucky. You're here at the right time for that. All right, so that is where we are there. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Let's have a quick look at Ethereum while we're here. Going to go to Coinbase for this one and check it out. So Ethereum there bouncing off the 200-day moving average, which is currently at 3,100. And of course, we're currently at 3,228. We've still got this golden ratio and golden cross in play back here from the 21st of November. Obviously, this has struggled relative to Bitcoin, even possibly relative to ADA and XRP and things like that, but still doing pretty well. I haven't looked at the exact relativities, but this is probably going to make quite an aggressive move once it does move. Capital is going to flow. We've got Ethereum ETFs, right? So capital will flow, and 3,228 target for the bull market. Low side 10K. High side, 25K. So, reasonable to expect maybe, the 10K to 15K mark. And typically a minimum 3X is a fairly reasonable target. So if we had 4,900 last bull market, then, 3X would be to 15K. So I think 10 to 15K, quite a reasonable pivot there. But of course, often they do a lot more leverage than that. If Bitcoin's going to do a 3X to 150K, then you could quite reasonably expect Ethereum to do something pretty amazing. Now, there is a lot of structural change in this season compared to last 2025. We had tens of thousands of cryptos. Now every man and dog can make their own crypto. We've got millions of them around. So there is competing for quality crypto projects and tokens and coins. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. I'm still pretty optimistic about Ethereum doing very well and relatively speaking, still dominating all of the crypto market. What else do we got? We'll do super. Nice one there on the Mafia join. We got Hex Down Under says, morning, sir. Good to see Hex Down Under. I like the little Superman there. And it was a super girl. Not sure. We look cooked on ETH right now, says Mr. Dollar. Yeah, we do. But still feeling pretty optimistic about this. Once things flow, it will flow. That's kind of the play. And may shock to the upside. Might get quite aggressive on the old ETH re-rate is what I suggest to happen. See what happened back here in early November. We might get something like that, and quickly Ethereum is on the hot seat, right? So it's doing pretty well. So still very, very optimistic about Ethereum. All right, so we're going to get into Pulse gains. Before we do that, don't forget to get in the chat. Now, if you guys haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. We're streaming on 3 YouTube channels: Superman Crypto, Hex Token channel, and Pulsechain X. Over 10,500 subscribers. So a big shout out to all the subscribers. A big thank you for support. Share the channels around. That really does help. And if you loved, talking about these particular topics, Pulsechain, TitanX, X1, and crypto generally, then get on it. And of course, we cover the stock market and economic news often as well, just to keep abreast of that, because sometimes that can take you by surprise if you don't keep up with it. So that's kind of cool. And of course, if you haven't joined our Discord, links in the video description. We've got 2 memberships, $5 for Pulsechain Hex Discord, and we've got a private strategy club. We pass a ton of intel through there. That's $35 a month. So join up to that, and we have great discussions in the Discord there. So yeah, get onto it, folks. Get onto it. All right. What else are we going to say? Let's get into Pulsechain. This is going to be fun. Let's do it. Bam, 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 bam. There we are. So Richard put this out about 2 hours ago. I love his little sayings. Doing the right thing beats doing the wrong things better. Yeah, well, we agree with that one. So he's had 35,000 views on that. Doing the right thing beats doing the wrong things better. And of course, Pulsechain. That's going to be fun for us. I think that's doing the right thing. That's for sure. And doing the wrong things, chasing pennies for freight trains, is it? In front of freight trains. Don't do that. In other words, really risky cryptos, especially at this time when we've got the altcoin season on the doorstep. You want to be in the solid ones, the high probability ones, because you're going to be safer that way, right? All right, let's get into it. So we talked about the SEC. We've got no update here at the moment on the court listener. This has been, documenting all the court case stuff for SEC versus Richard, but we are expecting something this month. So we'll just be waiting patiently for that. In any case, the insurance policy will be the new Trump administration, and there's, I think, a very real possibility with that insurance policy that a lot of the courts cases could get dropped, because particularly this one, Richard Hart's one versus SEC, this is a very weak one in my view. And I think when we saw the court case, definitely 75% probability or more that it will get dropped, because it was very weak indeed. Weak case and weak argued, right? So, and he's got the dream team running it, right? With Elon Musk lawyers, so it was pretty cool. And the judge seemed to be pretty good at what the judge was asking there. So feeling optimistic here. Nothing is certain, but optimistic. 75% plus optimism there. So cool. Let's see how that goes. It's going to definitely affect Pulsechain. Now, long term, Pulsechain is a decentralized chain. So we'll see exactly how it folds there. It will depend exactly how everything unfolds. So we will see where that heads to. Obviously, that may affect people's perception of the Magic Carp ride with 170,000 ETH or the Make a DAO theory, all these sort of things. So we'll see how that plays out. In any case, Pulsechain devs like Bretep still doing their work and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, so that's pretty much that. Let's get into the results for day 613 on Pulsechain. We've got some comments in the chat, I think. Not Mo says Zen, Ulti, Layer 2, Solana giving up your keys. Yeah, I do think obviously Ulti was. Layer 2's definitely. Solana, yep. I do think with Zen's a little different. Zen will have its day as long as X1 gets launched properly. Zen will have its day, and therefore it's probably a very good opportunity with the pool parties coming up. So that'll be the only exception to that list. All right, so 613 is the day of Pulsechain. We got Quadruple 0495 up 10%, 50% of the main sacrifice price. We got Pulsex at the moment, Quadruple 0325 up 16%. Woohoo! Bring it on. And that is now at 32.5%. So still super cheap on Pulsechain right now, but doing some pretty good days today. The buy and burn is at 1,193 billion. And that is 5.98% of the public supply has been bought up and burned so far. Incentive token is at $1.87, up 18%. So that is the best performance so far today. And the ratio is at 37,832 poles per one incentive token. The supply is around 53 million. And the HEX there at 1.4 cents, up 12.4%. And I put a video out yesterday about HEX that I'm very, very bullish about HEX this year. And of course, I think it was going to do very well. Now, of course, it was one of the top 5 coins last cycle in 2021, doing a 10,000x. And of course, I think it's going to do some pretty magical things this time around as well, with a lot of the pumper metals. So that was a little video I put out yesterday. EHEX at the moment at 2700th of a penny. Combined price of EHEX and PHEX is 1.67 cents. So keep a lookout for that, because I think that's going to go up pretty big. And HEX definitely has the potential to do dollars this cycle. Definitely has, and that will happen quite fast, right? In parabolics. And so yeah, probably within a short period of time. Depends on the mechanisms, how fast. But definitely, let's be modest and say months. But if certain mechanisms, let's say the maker theory does play out, that could happen very quick indeed, with the impacts of if that does play out there. All right, let's go to the gas prices. We're going to go to that. We've got 15,000 beats at the moment. For some reason, we've got a big spike on. Crazy. Look at that, 15.5 million beats. This is insane. 30 cents for a Pulsex swap at the moment. Richard did say that, the more popular the chain gets, the more expensive Pulsex swaps will be. So there's no surprise there more. 30 cents, man, that's crazy. 15.5 million beats just while we're doing the live stream. That's kind of insane. Now, Ethereum at the moment is 4 Gwei, and we're 17 times cheaper than Ethereum. How close is that? We're almost on par, economically speaking, at least at this the temporal point in time with Ethereum. That's kind of insane. It's kind of insane, right? But there we are. That's markets for you. Let's go to the validators. Validators here. Now, obviously, Pulsechain is a full copy of Ethereum based on the 10th of May last year, but it's full DeFi, right? Full DeFi operating itself. There's no downtimes like Solana and other chains. We're sitting at 44,263 validators, so they're ticking away there. And we've got the bridge there. That's our health check. Well, let's look about up $2 million since I last streamed a couple of days ago. It was sitting about 120. It's at 122, so it's up a little bit there. But this is the number we're going to be watching in the bull market for 2025. It really is a big health check about how valuable Pulsechain will get. So keep an eye out on this number. It's going to be very important moving forward. I'm expecting it to. It's currently at nine figures. I definitely think that we've got a good chance of getting to 10 figures or more. Let's see how we go with that. So it's going to be quite a re-rate there. That alone would be a 10x in the amount of funds. So keep an eye out on that. There's a number of mechanisms to make that possible. So we'll be looking out for that. All right, so that is pretty much it. Let's go to the volumes. $25.8 million of volume. So we're on the low end, but still solid volume of what we've been on recently. We've got 260,000 transactions at the moment. We've got some new coins, so I'm not endorsing any of these coins. So we have coins pop up all the time. Some of these look 12 hours, 10 hours. They're up pretty big on the percentages. Very small on liquidity, relatively speaking, but retail plays. So we've got a few of those. So what do we got here? Chill language model, tinfoil society. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. Don't know whether it's safe or not, but that's the way it goes. We've got Ricky Most Wanted. That's been around for 23 days. And of course, that was after, the Interpol put a red notice on Richard Hart. 86% there is where that's at. And Access Alive up 75%. Big move for Access Alive, obviously one of the bigger influencers in the Pulsechain community, almost at $20,000 there. We've got Eagle there. It's been around for 5 hours. So another just pop-up coin. Is that a new phrase, pop-up coin? Should I call that? It's pop-up coin. Come on, you guys can use it. It's not copyright. Pop-up coin. That's up 72% there. Access, PDDC, the Grays. So another top project, one of the best on Pulsechain. PDC, the Grays there, up 37%. Man, this thing is amazing. And of course, what is it like? Similar to like, look at that big pump there. Look at that today. Big pump. So 00038 and got to 00052. This is probably going to do some crazy stuff. PDC, the Grays, obviously looking pretty good. Now, in TitanX ecosystem, people are liking Shogun to PDC, the Grays, don't they? Shogun. And I guess maybe you could add an element 280 and things like that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that play out. But that is a big move today. And of course, it looks like it wants to go to a new high, doesn't it? Isn't that crazy? Let's look at the ratio to Pulse. Have a look at that. Oh, look at that. Woo! Wow. New record. Look at that chart, man. So if you've been to we covered this day one. PDC, the Grays. And man, if you'd been in this, look at this chart. Woohoo! 10.63 Pulse for one PDC. That is awesome. So there we go. I'm trying to remember who's PDC, the Grays. This just trying to remember who founded this. Was it James Maria? I can't remember. Someone like that. You guys let me know. I've forgotten at the moment, but get in there. Eddie says, let's pump it. Woohoo! Yeah, well, you can't do much better than that pump. This has been, is it the top performer? I mean, it's really up there as one of the most consistent, I would say, performers. You can see the chart's pretty consistent. That is pretty amazing. So well done there. We got Orange Directive up 35%. UFO, which is related to PDC, right? UFO, that is up 32%, driving a lot of value there. Let's have a quick look at that. PDC UFO. It's a derivative project, isn't it? So it's having a big pump too. Quadruple Zero 3900. Now Quadruple Zero 5100. Looking very good and still way to go to get to that previous top. But I think you're probably going to see some pretty big things here on UFO. Look at that. That's the chart. So there we go. Not bad. UFO and PDC crushing it on Pulsechain. A lot of people got confidence behind it. Now, Incognito, I should say, is up 30% there. Dark is up 29%. Well, they've both been around about for about a month. X is up 24%. It's been around for 5 months. Diehard. Now, Diehard, you earn Hex, don't you? Hex now? Yeah. No, you earn PDI in Diehard. You earn PDI. That's at up 24% at 17.7 cents. Troper. Now, Troper's definitely James Maria, the genius mathematician / dev. I think it's a dev. Yeah, Troper there, 24% is up on that one at the moment. So that might be a bit of a sleeper there. So keep a lookout for that. I mean, even more so. Now, Mafia is on the move. We're going to be talking about Mafia in a minute, but that's up 24% today, and we're going to talk about why that is the case. So we've got quite a few above 20% today. Teddy Bear up 20%. Solid X is up 20%. Now we're at $18. Now, Solid X is still waiting for that game from Eric from DragonX, right? That was supposed to launch probably at the end of December, and now we're in halfway through January. So, we're waiting for that. It's going to be the Crash game, right? Crash game. So let's see what happens there. That's still at 17, so still very cheap. And of course, if that game comes out, might really rally on that big time. What else there? ADN is up 19%. BFF is up 19%. So lots of movers across the board on Pulsechain. Interestingly, these copies, Pulsechain copies, these top PRC copies, Aave token up 19% there. INC up 90%. So we've got some good movers across the board. Looking down here, Pulsex up obviously 16%. We talked about all that. So some good movers here across there. I want to mention Time Dividend from the Internet Money Wallet, the dedicated wallet to Pulsechain from KG, 15% as well. Nice to see that moving. And Loan Token, man, Loan Token, the liquidity fork with the stable coin USDL, up 14%. But man, is that discounted or what, man? Look at this chart. This is not been fun. You guys know this was the project. How much money? Over $50 million, or something like $50 to $52 million. And look at this chart, not looking great. $1.6 million market cap, and yet over $50 million was sacrificed for this project. So not looking great from that point of view. Where's all the money gone? Where's all the money gone? So you can ask that yourself, but man, that is pretty crazy. Let's have a look at the website and see the fundamentals. Let's go look at the fundamentals here on liquid loans. Now, a quality product. Everything was delivered with pretty good quality. I don't know whether they're doing as much marketing as they were, but that is, this is where we are at this one. Let's have a look at the analytics. We've got the analytics here. We've got 718 billion pulse locked in here, 35 million USD. Collateral ratio is 438%. Now, this collateral ratio is what surprised the market, right? So that has really surprised the market, and I know a lot of retail sort of stopped using it, especially around liquidations and stuff. So redemptions and things like that. Staked is in 7.17 million USDL, so still a lot of value in there. 89% is locked. Now, this is what's going to make me curious about Ouroboros coming up in the TitanX ecosystem. Is a lot of the economic energy just going to be locked up earning yield? Is there actually going to be much of it moving around to stimulate TitanX ecosystem? If I think if it's at least in the millions of dollars, that would be pretty positive. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Stability pool 17.7% there. Staked loan token 1.8 trillion. Staking pool APR is less than 1%. That's definitely come down a lot, right? You guys remember it's quite high. And USDL supply there $8 million. So it's a good supply of stablecoin, but the majority of it is sitting in the staking protocol, not really creating economic leverage. So that's probably one of my critiques about the liquidity forks. That's why I've been so bullish about the PUSD algo from Jacob, because it's more like Terra Luna, but Terra Luna done right with auto bots there, keeping the stable coin, it's almost separating it out from the scalability of the PUSD algo. So come on, Jacob, let's bring on PUSD algo. Very excited about that, and of course, the people have been participating in that. So links in the video description if you want to get a 19% bonus for that one. But we'll have to be patient until he decides to launch that thing. But sooner the better. And while the bull market's on, when everyone's around, that's when you got to do it, not when anyone goes away. So that is the play. All right, so that is liquid loans. So that's kind of the some of the highlights there. Lots of cryptos doing over 20% today on Pulsechain. Pretty exciting. Now, I just want to talk about a few other things there. PDI sitting at 1.78 cents at the moment, so just chilling there, down 12% for the week, but up 4.5% today. A lot of these different narratives around the maker theories, around all the smart contracts that are big on Ethereum over here on Pulsechain. What will happen with those, with the maker theory? Will Richard Hart, the magic, suddenly make a lot of money appear on Pulsechain just because he's collateralizing those protocols. So we shall see. We shall see. That is the maker theory. All right, so that leads us into Mafia, the #1 GameFi on Pulsechain, also playing on BNB. And of course, this is going to be huge. This game is just getting better and better. Now, obviously, with gamers, the developers like Crypto Kool-Aid out there, they love their balancing, right? Balancing, trying to adjust the game's parameters and incentives to get optimal outcomes, let's say, in quotes there. So we'll see how that plays out, but definitely big news today, moving along that. So we'll talk about that now. Who else has jumped in here? We've got Wookie and Hustle. Woohoo! Let's seize nothing. I don't know what Wookie's on today, but I'll have what he's having. Robert says, just don't forget about those tax fees to get in and out of PDC and UFO. That's true. Well said there, Robert. Thank you for reminding us about that. We've got John and Hustle ROX. Yep. OX is hot. We are going to be talking about that. It's coming up there. That's the big news on the TitanX ecosystem today. And, of course, for the month, out of the gate, says Wookie. Out of the gate, indeed. All right, so Mafia, big news today. So Mafia is playing, and it is it's a metaverse, the first metaverse on Pulsechain. And, of course, it is the #1 GameFi on Pulsechain. Maybe we'll see whether the crash game for SolidX, when it does come out, how that competes. Because obviously they've got some big marketers, some big supporters there. We'll see. But at the moment, Mafia is dominating. Now, Jacob, the godfather of the Mafia game, the developer, of course, of a lot of protocols on Pulsechain. He's probably one of the leading, if not the leading, DeFi or GameFi devs in the world. And we're lucky to have him on Pulsechain. He's pretty committed to Pulsechain, so that's really good to see. And he's pushing the boundaries of peer-to-peer crypto. You guys would have seen that in Pulsepot and other games. And of course, TRH was super successful earlier on in Pulsechain Live. So a lot of cool things happening there. Now we had an update. So the exchange, the ODC integration for the map tiles is now deployed. So apparently we can go to exchange. You go to ODC, and you can now add. You can create an ODC here and add in. I guess add in some stuff here. Got to move out of there. I don't know what I was on that one for, but. No, that's the wrong one. What the heck is going on here? That is not right. Let's see here. Oh, that's not working, is it? All right. So OTC apparently now you can act. Oh, now I'm really stuck here. This is the only feature I don't like is having these 10 clicks per minute. I hope he gets rid of. I understand why he's doing it for the busyness, but hopefully he gets rid of that at some stage. Let's see here. Now I've lost my track here. So the OTC integration, apparently map tiles are now deployed, so they're working on enabling notifications for owners of wanted tiles. So some people will want certain tiles. So we'll see how that goes. So you can do that, create an OTC and do that. I think you can operate that. So see if that works this time. Yeah, so you can put in apparently tiles, I guess, and put them in here. Add land slots. So there we go. So you can add land slots here, and you can select the city, all the different cities, etc. So that's kind of cool. People will be modding that. So it's going to create some real nice activity on the old chain, on the old Mafia. So that's brand new, hot off the press, as it were. And maybe early in the morning, but not too far away. What's the other thing that's up? The exchange convert feature. So the other thing that's changed, the convert feature is gone. So if you were converting in-game assets into in-game currency, that is out of action at the moment. They said the conversion feature has been temporarily disabled at the moment. Expect massive changes to it. I don't like how much power the feature currently holds over the economic balance of the entire game. So if you had opened up a lot of in-game assets with keys, then you'd have a lot of in-game currency. Now it's funny he says that because it costs $20 a key, to open it up. So I don't know about that. Someone already paid earlier down the line. Sometimes you can get a really good item in game, but sometimes you get something that's less than $20, right? So the market decides. I don't know. We'll see where that heads. We are doing a complete overhaul of this feature, so we'll see how that plays out. And he already lowered, of course, earlier, about a week or so, he lowered the conversion rate by at least 40% or something. So we'll see what happens there with that one. What else? We got the third one was the kill simulator. Now, as you guys know, if you go to the game wiki, you'll see that we've got different stages of the launch for this number one game on Pulsechain and also playing on BNB. We got the marketing DAO coming up next and open for business, but it looks like the open for business is coming up. That's kind of been the priority. Marketing DAO is kind of a bit of an easy one, right? So we'll see. But open for business is a big one, and we're looking forward to that. If you own a business, which is not many, there's about 111 businesses. Now, assuming he defines businesses as in-game assets, then that's where we are. So we have decided to change the kill simulator phase to an internal testing phase. So this kill one here is gone. So we had a kill simulator phase that is gone here. In fact, I think that was after the communication. I think it was like number 12. So that is gone. It says, my reasoning for doing this is that we want to emphasize the knowledge and experience of the single most valuable asset in the game. You'll only learn about killing by killing. That's going to make the game even more crazy, honestly, more crazy, because you have to learn. That's encouraging people to kill, basically. Whereas before you could do the kill simulator and go, oh, actually, this is pretty difficult to kill simulator. I might get killed. I might lose a lot of money, whatever. And so you wouldn't do it. And so you got less activity. But now you're kind of encouraging activity because people don't know. So they're going to give it a go. Let's see how it goes. We'll see how they go. Essentially, the more experienced you are, and the less overspend of resources you have when doing kills. And more importantly, the safer you are from backfires during kills as well. I don't want to provide anyone with a blueprint to the game. Your time, your attention, your sacrifices to the game will give you that. So, in other words, if you play, you're going to learn and you'll do better, right? So there we go. Now, finally, crates in the game. There's crates over here. And people open up crates to get these in-game assets, right? So we're going to have major changes here. We're introducing 2 new limited business items to crates in the coming weeks. Now, this is going to be fascinating. Business items. Now, presumably, this is, I presume this is business objects. I'm not sure. It's a little bit vague. Business items, and I presume it's businesses. And so, as opposed to business items, I mean, business items could be anything in a gun store, for example, guns. But I guess he's talking about businesses. We're also removing some of the assets that will soon be available through purchasing from business owners. So, if you think about it, you've got guns, and if you get a shop item, you got all these guns and grenades and machine guns and things like that. Those will disappear, right? They will show up in a gun store, presumably, and they might have new guns too. Who knows? We'll see. But that's kind of the idea that I have from this at the moment. So yeah, as always, stay tuned for more updates. The next couple of weeks will be very interesting. We are soon open for business, which will be those businesses, right? So if you go to the maps, let's go to Salamancas here in Bogota. So that's sort of dominating that map, the Salamancas. And let's have a look at some of the businesses here. And we'll zoom out on the map here for the city of Bogota. And we'll have a look at the type of buildings. Let's go to business objects. Presumably they're talking about these ones, right? Business objects here. There's only 11 on each map. There's only 11 maps. So it's 111, I think. So yeah, this one here is owned by Nunzio, big whale, for the Salamancas, and that's a slot machine. So you've got different businesses, of course, a booze warehouse. What else we got there? Bank. Banks, I think, going to be pretty popular. So if you're owning a bank, you're probably going to do pretty well. What else? We got car crushes there. Hospitals. Now, hospitals may or may not be that popular, right? Because if there's a war on, if your people are getting killed, then yeah, hospitals going to be important potentially. Now, roulette's obviously going to be pretty busy. Things like that. So what else we got here? Bank. I'll talk about that. Bullet factory. They'll probably be busy, but the more busy, the more the war's on. But maybe they'll be consistently busy, and we'll see. What's up here? Narcotics. Now I think narcotics going to be pretty busy. All the crimes and things like that. Booze warehouse will be busy. Yeah. So kind of cool. Is that all I want to talk about? I think so. I was trying to look for the gun store, but I can't find the gun store. I've forgotten what it looks like too. Is that the gun store here? It's a bank. Where's the gun store gone, guys? Is that the gun store over here? I don't even know where the gun store is. Disappeared. Anyway, I'm sure it's there somewhere. So that's pretty much it for Mafia. So Open for Business is coming up very, very soon. And of course, I'm very glad about that's coming up. The next couple of weeks will be very interesting. And of course, we are open for business soon. So I'm very, very excited about that. Now, the market likes it too. There's the market's pumped today. The market's pumped from 001 to 0016. So a nice big pump here. This is still super cheap on Mafia. And given the supply and demand dynamics of in-game cash and Mafia itself, there's only 1 billion Mafia. A lot of it's already locked up. Then this thing could start to do some pretty big numbers. There is a taxes on it, right? There is taxes. So remember that. In fact, let's have a quick look at the taxes. 4.7% buy tax, 16.6% sell tax. But, you know, you get a couple of X's and you're already paid for that, right? And it feeds the vault. Let's see how big the vault is. The vault is a 7.19 billion, $356,000 at the moment. And, you know, Pulsechain does a 3x. You're already into a $1 million game. And if it does a 10x, multi-million-dollar game, right? So it's pretty quickly. It ends pretty quickly. What's the last thing I was going to look at? The exchange. Let's have a look at the withdrawal rate. Because this is going through the roof. Look at this. Woo! That is starting to rally. The market cap of in-game cash is now $3.2 million almost. So this is going up nice. And the price, of course, this is affected by two things, right? The ratio that you sell in-game cash for to Mafia and also the price of Mafia. So this is in US terms here. So it's almost about to hit 403. Pretty crazy. It was only just not long ago down at half of that price. So the ratio too is down at 155 or so. There's not a lot of in-game cash around, so this could really hyper pump. So that's probably why he's changed the exchange there, because the you know, people, this is gonna, you know, this is the people getting rich on in-game cash at certain times, or people dominating in-game cash. So we'll see how that all plays out. That is the mark there on Mafia. So hope you guys enjoyed that. It was quite an extended coverage. I wasn't planning on talking about Mafia as much as that, but there's some pretty big updates there. And a big shout out to Craig there as always. All right, so that is pretty much it on the old Pulsechain and Mafia. We went into that. We're going to talk about, obviously, TitanX now and X1 briefly. So let's do that. Bam, bam, bam. All right, let's get over the TitanX. Now, as you guys know, I'm very bullish about the TitanX ecosystem. I love some of the tokenomics that Jake Sharp has set up, and particularly teams like Eric and the Dude and Stevie D, Mad Scientist. And, of course, we've got Crypto Utah in there as well in the house. So Utah Crypto. So kind of cool. All right, so let's get into it. TitanX, has it reached the bottom of wave 2? Is it finally turning? We're getting a little bit of green candles. Could be the very perfect place to pick up, of course, when you get to bottom wave 3. So let's have a look what that looks like with TitanX. This is obviously the layer 1, so to speak, the layer 1 of the layer 1. This is how you get into TitanX ecosystem. And this is obviously mapped up against Ethereum. And we can see we've got a bit of a green candle today, a little bit. It's a baby green candle. But we've gone from, what was the open? We went from 42.87 with 6 zeros in front of it to currently 44.43. So we're up a little bit today. And we're just trying to find this bottom here. We've got slightly higher lows in here compared to what we had back here at the end of the year, new year, and slightly higher, but nothing quite bullish yet. But I think we're on the precipice of moving. We're looking forward to wave 3, right? We're using an Elliott model here, of course, of wave 3. And that's kind of what we're looking forward to there. Now, when this timing happens, we don't exactly know. We're trying to get an estimate. There's more about modeling a Fibonacci extension. And that would take us to 5 zeros, 2,700 on the next move, the wave 3, which would be above the previous high that we had of 1620. Now, let's have a look at how that's US dollar price. Let's have a look at the price versus Ethereum. And we can see we're only up very slightly at the moment at 9 zeros, 1376 against Ethereum. So a lot of work to be done. But we do ultimately have a higher low here at 1154 compared to where we previously were. So we'll see. It's going to go to new highs. Now, the fundamentals, as you guys know, has been ticking along pretty nicely. Let's have a look at the TitanX supply. The hyperdeflation story is it's going to take its time. We've seen a lot of definitional changes from Jake Sharp. And so, the people have reacted to that, with the way that the liquid's being talked about. But we are now got consistency, and that's going to help, get that deflation narrative going. And of course, we have got OmniChain coming with X28 later on, potentially in a week or two. So there we go. In fact, I think there's an update coming from Jake Sharp shortly on that. So we got 45.13% total circulating. It's 101 point, just under 101.2. Now this went down. This has been going down by about 150, 200 billion a day. But yesterday it went down by 300, and I think today it went down even bigger. So it's actually, we've got a bit of an acceleration going on here. Let me pull up the numbers because I've still got that that snapshot there. Yeah. So no, okay, we're doing still around 200 here, but we've got a few hours to go. So what's that? 6:30. So actually, we're doing better today. Over 200. So we're probably going to head towards maybe 250 today, which is a pretty strong day. So the last 2 days have been quite a big pickup on the reduction in circulating supply. And in particular, we've got the liquid supply going down now under 65 trillion, 64.7. So that's good news. And of course, the buy and burn now at, the total burn is at 123 trillion TitanX. So that's pretty cool. So far, so good. Everything's going pretty well. Looking at the total TitanX going through the second layer protocols that is built on top of TitanX, we've got DragonX at 19.3 trillion. We've got Hyper there at 17 trillion TitanX, X28 at almost 16 trillion. Isn't that crazy? Watch that number. That's the number that's really going to move quite significantly. And Shogun there at 10.3 trillion. That's also doing very well with the perpetual auctions. Ouroboros there at 3.2 trillion. So there we go. That's going to be fun to see Ouroboros play out as well. And of course, let's give an honorable mention to Volt there, 2.6 trillion at the moment. So it's kind of the mark on those. All right, let's go to, we're waiting for OmniChain, right? So X OmniChain, let's quickly have a look at that. Now I want to show you the stats on here because it's crazy. The stats are crazy. Look at the liquid supply now, 0.43%. There's hardly anything there. There's only 85 billion X28. That's ridiculous. Obviously, that doesn't move the charts. That's not the mechanism that moves the charts. But what it has shown is that once we go OmniChain, this will keep an eye out on this liquid number. And of course, we're going to see the dynamics, right, of layer 0, which is in the technology used for the OmniChain to spread out TitanX into X28. Obviously, 50% of TitanX gets burned in that process. The other 50% goes into the buy and burn for X28 over here. And we've got 2.3 trillion TitanX sitting in here, over $1 million at the moment. But the mechanisms are what's really key. You know, what's the differential between X28 and TitanX at the moment? 1.01. If that's separated out, that could cause a run on X28 from TitanX and burn TitanX out real fast. And so you'd see this liquid number go down pretty dramatically. You know, this 65 trillion number here. The other thing is the cross-chain layer zeros, right? You've got these bots operating cross-chains. And so that could be really bullish for X28 as well and cause pressure on that ratio between X28 and TitanX. So that's kind of some of the mechanisms I'm expecting to see. That I presume that's what Jake's trying to play out there. And of course, the LP pools on the other chains. First chain, of course, looks like it's going to be the base chain. So looking forward to that. So it's going to be fun to see. And of course, second layer protocols built on top of X28 slash any projects like maybe Shogun. We'll see. All right, so that is kind of the play there. Let's have a look at the other ones at the moment. DragonX obviously is doing very well. 10.77 really is the gold standard project in TitanX. So that's doing very well indeed. Lots of cool stuff coming for that. Now, TitanX and DragonX are going to be the first protocols tokens used for Ouroboros, which is coming up. And of course, we can see that's the next project. We're expecting that to be launched before the end of January, so within the next 2 weeks. So we're going to check out that. In fact, there may be a tweet out today because Ouroboros has ROX has absolutely rocketed today, as we have talked about in the Strategy Club. So if you'd been seeing that. So yeah, this is 2 hours ago. As promised yesterday, here's a short breakdown of the current status of RRX and how everything's unfolding. So this is the big lending protocol, one of the 3 big DeFis, the last of the big 3 DeFis to be launching. In short, you could say that things are going well. Some headline stats. ETH are out there, 480% ROI. So people have been doing very well with that, providing ETH. Now that ETH going to be used in the protocol. It was part of the capital raises, as we say. TitanX route 153%. So if you use TitanX now, for 5,000% later, pretty exciting. OX buy and burn now the number 5 holder of TitanX. We just showed you that too. Not much inflation until April, and if there is, it's going to be result in massive reduction in future supply. Forfeit address paper dollar value is now almost 1 million. Forfeited RRX amount is currently running at about 60% of liquid. So lots of cool stuff there. Earlier in the evolution of RX, I talked about distribution having several distinct phases. If you look back now, each phase is distinct on the chart. Phase 1, capped limited supply phase, produced a liquid 10x on the market, and so on. So pretty exciting about that. So that is, and we've seen the market rally today. So pretty exciting. Now I just want to jump through some of this. As we said, pre-RX release being early was better. That seems to be the case. Often the best things are part of field difficult early on. Next up will be publication of the updated testnet. So people are looking forward to that for the USDX. Once I finish running my scenarios, links and some details will follow there. So that is pretty exciting. All right. So that is pretty much it. And like I say, TitanX and DragonX are expected first. Then probably Ethereum. And hopefully we're going to get some of these other top volume coins as collateral as well. So, thinking of Volt, for example, thinking of Hydra and Hyper, thinking of Tink, the high volumes on TitanX ecosystem. So that's kind of the play and what we're expecting. What else? What else are we going to say about that? That is pretty much that on that number. Let's have a look at the measures on the last 24 hours. So we can see that Matrix is up 43% at 11/100th of a penny. Ouroboros, we just talked about, up 41%. And of course, the big milestone there is that went back at 10 cents, actually hit 10 cents, currently at 9.6 cents at the moment. So really doing well. And of course, expecting a launch of that big lending protocol within the next 2 weeks. And of course, the testnet there are going to be published shortly. So kind of cool. What else? Let's have a quick look at some of the other ones. ALGO up 15%, Alma 280 from the Dude up 13%. Volt is up 7.7%. Now, these are the sort of projects that have got a lot of similarities with to PDGC with the taxes and feeding that the buy and burns and stuff like that. So it's going to be fun to see that. That's up 13% there. Volt up 7.7%. What else there? Turbo up 7% there. Viper up 6.7% as well. Those are some of the leaders there. Inferno up 5.5%. Now, I believe Inferno has the highest burn number, about 58%, but it is probably the most ROI protocol in the ecosystem relative to the second layers that are building on it. So that's going to be interesting to see that play out, but certainly winning the burn race at the moment. What else? We've got Hydra there at 5%. Now, looking at Hydra, and Hydra obviously is one of the 2 big mining leverage tokens. And of course, Hydra there on DragonX. That is probably going to get very bullish indeed by the time we get into mid-February. Keep an eye on Hydra there. And of course, we've got the end of the mining, coming out, and the buy and burns, pretty juicy. Hyper is the other one, right? That's probably going to be similar timing, if I remember rightly. It's got a slightly different mining profile, but a lot more volatile. But that's at 1.2% at the moment. And these are the ones to look out. Those 2 are going to be pretty interesting, and also bullish for the whole TitanX ecosystem, right? Because Hyper has Ethereum in it, and we got the TitanX inside the and the Hydra there. So it's going to be fun. Now, Shogun there is kind of chilling. Shogun there at 32. We'll see what happens with X28 when that rolls out on base chain. That might spur that on as well, because it's paired with X28 and TitanX. So that's going to be fun to see that play out. And the burn at the moment operating, between 4.5 and 5.5 million a day on Shogun. So it's slowly burning away a wallet equivalent to a number 68 every day. So that's just slow tinkering away. That's going to suddenly run at some stage. And the other one, of course, is Volt there, currently burning around about 1.8 to 2.2 million a day. So give or take. Well, let's say 1.5 to 2.1, something like that a day. And that's burning a wallet like at number 43. So imagine 43, number 43 wallet getting burned every day. That's kind of what's happening there. So some really interesting dynamics happening in there. And obviously TitanX is going to be key to lifting that with the X28 Omni-chain. So, but the big catalyst, Omni-chain and Ouroboros all coming out pretty similar time. Man, this thing is about to go off to the roof. And of course, TitanX looks like it has bottomed out on that second wave. Wave 3 could be pretty amazing. So looking forward to that. So some good stuff happening there. Let's get into the X1. I want to briefly talk about X1. I think I've sort of talked about everything I want to talk about here. Obviously, this huge roadmap of protocols coming up there. Obviously, Bitcoin Genie is going to be hyper bullish for Volt. Look, very excited. This is pushing the buying side. So people, say, yeah, we've got buy and burn or burning. That's all good, but how can we push even more demand on the buy side and make it more sustainable, even without buyers? Or Genie Bitcoin there from Stevie D is looking to tackle that problem, and he's pushing that tokenomics in crypto. Really, probably one of the leading, if not leading, protocols potentially in crypto. This Bitcoin Genie. Looking forward to seeing the white paper. So that would be very important. Yeah, so we're waiting for that. The other thing, of course, is Vault Wheel. That is what Bitcoin Genie is now. So Vault Wheel is the same thing. The tokenomics have been changed. The Vault Thunder staking is coming soon. So we're looking forward to that. That's going to also take Vault off the market. Very bullish there. What else there? Ascendant was delayed. Looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a pretty good project also for TitanX. Mizuchi looks interesting as well. Taurus looks like it's going to be another cool front. I put Taurus possibly up here with the Bitcoin Genie. Could be very, very bullish environment. Of course, that's coming from cryptographics. Going to be interesting to see that play out. We've got this new one here, WivenX and BFX. So we've got two, the Bonfire. I think Bonfire, I think Brandon talked about that the other day. You can check that out on Brandon's channel, formerly Rags to Riches. And this WivenX there, which I've only just seen now as we're watching this. So let's see if the white paper's there. That is coming up there. Got a nice white paper. Is a TitanX synergy protocol utilizing TitanX max stakes to provide perpetual rewards. There we go. So yeah, got different projects coming in. I'll have to read this. I don't typically, we're going to see. Yeah, it's not typically something I would be keen on, but I'll read the white paper there and see what the whole picture is. Wookie says join Strategy Club today, and with Wookie's amazing link, definitely do that. Join up today. Only $35 a month. We constantly flow intel through there, including around TitanX. So get in on that one today. How we done? An hour for the live stream. I think it's pretty good to wrap up. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. I just wanted to make one comment about X1 and Zen. So Zen at the moment, really good discount price to get in on that. The pool parties, we're waiting for that. And of course, I'm still expecting a Q1 launch for X1 from Jack Levin, the famous vampire. And the source, when you always buy low, right? And then you burn for high price there. X1 is, of course, going to have the XN coin. And of course, going to have all the top stuff that technology and stuff provides, like the IGN layer and things like that. So I'm very excited about X1. It will bring back value to Zen. That's pretty much the way you should look at it. And maybe there's tens of X's inside that, if not 100X. We shall see. Wookie's in the house there. I like that. That's a good way to finish. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. See you in Discord. See you online and Telegram. And take you out there. I'll be back streaming again in maybe 2 days or something. We'll see. We'll see how we go. All right. Take care. Bye for now. Enjoy yourself. Bring it on. As we say, bring it on.